an emergency evacuation at a building on OU's campus, concerns rise over the turnpike expansion, and clear skies now, but our weather experts are tracking severe weather coming our way. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche.
And I'm Olivia Dague. We begin tonight with a breaking news situation right here on campus, a fire at the physics building.
OU Nightly reporter Brigg joins us live right now. Brigg, what's happening?
Dacoda, things have calmed down now, but earlier today, hundreds of students were evacuated from Nielsen Hall, and it was not a false alarm. Students and professors rushing out of the building, delaying classes, and causing disruption on campus. The Norman Fire Department and OU Campus Safety were both on the scene. Research coordinator of Nielsen Hall, Chad Cunningham's office, was the center of the commotion.
Ultimately, it just came down to a failed battery backup for a computer that happened to be in my office, and like I say, a faculty member had come into the shop and was noticing the smell and the smoke coming, and he ended up calling it in, and we came back in right as that was happening.
So the fire was the real deal, but something easily contained. Classes are back in the building, and Nielsen Hall is open again. Reporting live from Nielsen Hall, Brigg Bates, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Brigg. A nice warm-up today after chilly weather earlier this week.
But with that warm-up also comes the potential for severe weather. Let's get right over to meteorologist Dylan Strilko. Dylan, what do we need to know about this big shift?
Yes, this is a beautiful day outside. Temperatures are in the lower 80s. I know I was getting a little bit warm walking to class in this suit, but with the warmer weather comes a chance for severe weather. So the darker green and the yellow shaded counties are where we're going to be seeing the chance for some severe weather here in the state, especially in this yellow shaded area. Now, we are seeing a big difference than yesterday for temperature wise, so especially here in central and eastern Oklahoma, nearing 30 degrees more warmer than it was yesterday. Now, coming up in Maine weather, we're going to be talking about when those severe storms are going to be arriving in the state and who is going to be impacted. We are going to be talking about another warm-up coming up for this week and your weekend forecast coming up in Maine weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. Turnpike turmoil making headlines again today, with Norman residents right in the middle of it. Several people gathered in downtown Oklahoma City to express concerns in the ongoing debate of turnpike expansions in the state. Some of them have been fighting new turnpikes in the state for decades.
I've been doing this for 24 years. I first did it in the 90s when they proposed the same toll roads back in the 90s that the city councils of Norman, Jones, Choctaw, and Arcadia all passed resolutions against them. Here we are 23 years later, and it's the same thing.
Several in the community opposing the turnpike expansion plan are expected to meet next week at Capitol Day to continue fighting for their cause.
House Bill 1397 passed today, requiring the State Department of Education to create a curriculum about the civil rights movement. Representatives who oppose the bill worry that its focus excludes much of what happened during the movement.
I have a great fear that while we might be trying to teach young people about how we come together, about how we work toward a better, more perfect union, what we're going to end up telling them is that that fight is over.
Topics such as the Stonewall riots, Emmett Till, Japanese internment, and the Fred Hampton assassination are not included in the bill.
Funeral services for Oklahoma City Deputy Jeremy McCain will be held this Friday at 10 a.m. The community is invited to attend the service at Crossings Community Church in Northwest Oklahoma City. There will also be a public viewing tonight and tomorrow from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Bill Eisenhower Funeral Home.
A Denver high school is closing for the week after a shooting on campus. Purpura has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center.
Olivia, Dacoda, police are searching for an East High School student accused of firing shots at school faculty. While getting his required daily pat-down, the boy pulled a handgun and shot 2 people. One student says she isn't surprised this happened.
There's always something where we're on lockdown. Like, we have a lockdown damn near every other week or every other day. It's so consistent. It's like, it don't even surprise me no more.
The former President Donald Trump is still walking free today since the grand jury deciding his fate didn't meet. Trump is waiting to find out if he will be indicted for allegedly paying hush money to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump predicted he was going to be arrested yesterday, but there's still no decision. And if you're planning to take out loans, it might be a bit more expensive to pay them back. The Federal Reserve is hiking interest rates again after 2 banks failed.
They're very concerned if they don't do enough, it'll look like they're not fighting inflation, which has consequences. If they do too much and affect the economy too much when banks are a little bit rocky, they could cause a little more trouble in confidence in the banking system.
And the CEO of the popular Chinese-owned app TikTok is getting ready to testify in the U.S. House tomorrow, hoping to keep it available for Americans. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Pepper. The OU Food Pantry is celebrating its 6-year anniversary today. OU Nightly's David Asche has more on the food pantry's history and its impact on campus.
In 2017, a group of University of Oklahoma students founded the OU Food Pantry, a fully student-run initiative with the goal of easing food insecurity for the entire OU community.
March 22nd, 2017, 6 years ago today, we opened our doors and to serve all students, staff, and faculty. It took a lot of time, a lot of challenges. There was even one time we were told this wasn't going to happen. You tried, but sorry. But then it came back to life.
Now, 6 years later, the pantry has become a staple of OU's campus.
We have a clothing area, we have a home goods area, books, a snack area, a community center or community area that we're in right now with some TVs and couches. And then we obviously have our food and fresh produce. It's changed the game.
For volunteer Cole McCoy, working at the food pantry has been rewarding in a variety of ways.
I work here at the food pantry just to put smiles on people's faces and give back to the community. Whether it's just folding up clothes or giving out produce, whatever it is, just like putting a smile on people's face.
In celebration of their 6-year milestone, decorations are hung around here in the Kate Center, and baked goods and cookies are available for anyone who wants a sweet treat.
We want to highlight that 6 years is an incredible achievement, something especially that was student-run, and it's student-driven, and it's continued to be that way. And again, every year it's going to continue to get better.
David Asche, OU Nightly.
The OU Food Pantry is always accepting donations, including money, non-perishable food, and hygiene items. To find out how to get involved, visit the pantry's website at ou.edu/foodpantry. And when we come back, why over 160,000 Californians are without power.
Meteorologist Eli Millard explains how and why this is happening. Earth Report is next.
And more when we return.
A deadly storm grips California as the 12th atmospheric river pounds the state with more torrential rain. OU Nightly meteorologist Eli Millard explains the science behind the storm in today's Earth Report.
Nearly 160,000 customers are without power after another atmospheric river hit California. At least 2 people have died due to falling trees. Officials are concerned about runoffs, mudslides, and continued flooding. So what exactly is an atmospheric river, and why is California seeing so many? Well, an atmospheric river is a stream in the upper atmosphere that transports moisture from the tropics to the higher latitudes. And we can actually see this on our water vapor imagery. Here it is. There's an upper level storm system that's pounding California right now, and it's being fueled by this moisture that is being pushed northward. So why exactly are we seeing so many? So over the last 3 years, we have seen a La Nina pattern, which this isn't day-to-day weather. It is averaged over a long period of time. But we've seen it for 3 straight years. It's only the second time it's happened in history. So in Oklahoma, we have seen a drought over the last 3 years, where in the Pacific Northwest, they're seeing a much wetter pattern. Now, as we come out of La Nina, and into a neutral pattern, the polar jet pushes off towards the northeast, and we introduce a subtropical jet, which pulls in that moisture from the Pacific and makes California much wetter. So that's why they're seeing all these atmospheric rivers in California. Olivia, back to you.
Thanks, Eli, for that report. I learned something I didn't know before.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
An immersive experience at a local science museum lets you experience a place you never thought you'd go.
We'll share how you can join in the adventure when OU Nightly returns. And Dylan touched on this earlier, but severe weather is inbound here in Oklahoma. Dylan, what else will you have for us?
Yes, we will be talking more about that severe weather and what that severe weather may bring for the state coming up in Maine Weather. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Let's take a look at that south oval. We are seeing some rather cloudy skies, but a much warmer day overall. 81 degrees is that current temperature here in Norman. Let's look at that metro, however. 78 up in Oklahoma City. Farther west, 77 in Weatherford. 79 up there in Stillwater. But looking at the statewide view, you're reaching 80 up there in Guyman, 81 down here in Ardmore, a little bit to the northwest of us, 77 up there in Tulsa. Now tomorrow that warming trend is going to continue, 72 here in Norman, west of us, 76 out there in Elk City, and 77 down in there in Ardmore. Now with that warmer weather brings a chance for severe storms. Now everybody in this dark green and yellow shaded area is going to be seeing that chance for severe weather, especially here in this yellow shaded region. Now what are we going to be expecting? Well, we do have a little bit of a tornado risk, but it's fairly low, but everything in that green shaded counties, that's where you're going to be seeing that chance for a tornado. Now we're also seeing a significant hail threat in this darker shaded region, even in this yellow shaded region as well, and we can't rule out any hailstorms out there in those brown shaded regions. We do have a little bit of a hail threat as well everywhere here in this brown shaded region. Overall, these storms are going to be bringing every risk that you may think of, including flooding. Now we are seeing a slight risk for central Oklahoma for a flood event, and then we have a moderate to even high risk up there for flooding out there in northeastern Oklahoma. Now let's take a look. We are currently under an aerial flood watch for most of the metro. This includes Cleveland and Oklahoma counties and points to the northeast. Now let's take a look at that future radar and get timing down. So we're going to be seeing one round of showers and thunderstorms come in Thursday afternoon around 3:30 p.m. This is going to be pushing out of here, and another round Friday morning early, about 2 a.m. This will be here and again pushing out of the region. And once again, another round of storms that we are watching Friday night around 6:30 p.m. This will be out of here, and hopefully we have a clear night for Friday. Now let's take a look at what the main hazards we are seeing. Low tornado risk, low wind risk, although we can't rule that out as well. The main threat we are watching is that higher risk for some damaging hail, anywhere from quarter size to baseball sized. And again, we do have a medium moderate risk for some flooding as well across most of the state, especially out there in northeastern Oklahoma. Now here's your 7-day forecast showing this warming trend continuing, but them showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a cool down with a cold front that comes in on Thursday night. This weekend, however, looks to be beautiful, and we're going to have a little bit of a mild start for next week, but overall, after this rounds of thunderstorms, the sun is going to make a return. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Dylan. The Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History is taking kids on an adventure through the rainforest with their new exhibit, Rainforest Adventure. The adventure is an interactive maze that allows for kids to educate themselves on the rainforest while not getting taken on a wrong turn. The exhibit also gives people a chance to experience a rainforest.
So many people will never actually physically get to go and see a rainforest in person. And one of the cool things about exhibits like this is that you can kind of experience a little bit more about these incredible places.
This traveling exhibit will be at the Sam Noble Museum until June 4th.
And Brent Venables and the Sooners are springing into action.
OU Nightly Sports' Parker Abels is in studio with more. Parker?
Coming off their first losing season since 1998, the Sooner football team is back for spring practice. When we come back, we'll show you some new faces that may help turn the tide. Hello and welcome into OU Nightly Sports. I'm Parker Abels. Well, spring has sprung, which means the Pats, come on. Spring practice is off and running for the Sooner football team, and some new faces made their debut on Tuesday. A pair of five-star freshmen and QB Jackson Arnold and safety Peyton Bowen got on the field for the first time, and a familiar face and tight end Austin Stogner got back in a Sooner uniform after his one-year stint with South Carolina. Tuesday night, the Oklahoma City Thunder were in LA to take on the Clippers. In the first half, Paul George with a nice cut and 360 slam. Kawhi loved that one, but later in the game, PG-13 would go down and would not return. Go to the last possession, Kawhi trying for the game winner, but Lou Dort with the defense, he couldn't even get a shot off, and OKC would take it 101-100. Staying in the NBA Tuesday night action, former Sooner star Trae Young put on a clinic, dropping 30 points and 12 assists on the Detroit Pistons. Young would help the Hawks get a much-needed win, 129-107, to get his team back above 500 in hopes of securing a play-in spot. Sooner point guard Bijan Cortez has officially announced that he is entering the transfer portal. Cortez took a brief hiatus from the team in late February, but would be back on the team for the end of the season. Bijan averaged 2.6 points and 1.7 assists in his 2 years with OU. Oklahoma Volleyball announced Tuesday that they are adding a new addition to the team. Lydia Burtz, a 6'3" middle blocker from Liberty, will be joining the Sooners next season. Burtz was an ASUN All-Conference first-teamer in 2022 and had the most kills in conference with 140. Tuesday night, the Sooner baseball team fell to Dallas Baptist 8-6, dropping to 13-8 on the season. They overcame a 3-run deficit to take a 5-4 lead in the sixth, but they weren't able to hang on. The Sooners are now getting ready to head to Manhattan, Kansas for a series with the Kansas State Wildcats starting on Friday. Softball series against Iowa State this weekend has been altered due to anticipated inclement weather. The Sooners now have a doubleheader on Saturday instead of playing a game on Sunday. The game on Friday will be played as planned. And with spring football coming, I'm so excited to see what the new freshmen are going to do. Dacoda, Olivia, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Jackson Arnold, he's got an arm on him. He's looking really good. And Peyton Bowen, he's just such an athlete. But
yeah, exciting to have Austin Stogner back too.
Yeah, someone he didn't mention though, Trace Ford coming from Oklahoma State to OU. That'll be something interesting right there. But caught on camera, two dogs protect their owners from an unwelcomed visitor.
That's right. You know, this video, Dacoda, it reminds me of a movie I've seen before. See if you can figure out which one. OU Nightly is next.
Olivia, this video is pretty funny. I mean, the dogs involved took the situation very seriously.
Maybe a little too seriously. I mean, talk about protective instincts. Now, when Nico and Stella, these boxers, see this green dinosaur out their window, they went nuts.
Yeah, I guess they didn't know that their dad was in the costume?
Yeah, this couple in Las Vegas, they got a good laugh, and this video went viral. And people were commenting things pretty funny, like Jurassic Bark.
Looking at these dogs, I don't know if my dog Tonk would be able to do that. He's a small Australian Shepherd, about 35 pounds. I mean, he's got a nice little bark at 2 a.m. He'll occasionally bark if some students are coming back from wherever they are. And but that's all he does. He doesn't bite or anything like that.
Yeah, same with my dogs. All bark, no bite.
Yeah. Well, before we are done with the show, we want to give one more look at the weather.
Dylan, what should we prepare for when these storms start rolling through?
Yes, so right now we are seeing the severe weather outlook for much of central and eastern Oklahoma, even down into southwestern Oklahoma. The slight risk is all the counties shaded in yellow. That's where we're going to be seeing the highest chances for severe weather tomorrow. Now, what are we going to expect exactly? So we do have a low-end tornado threat and a low-end damaging wind threat Can't rule it out, though. It is still possible. We are mainly concerned about this hail threat right here. We could see anywhere from quarter to baseball-sized hail across the state, but especially in central Oklahoma, as well as that flooding threat with any of those heavier storms. Now, let's take a look again at your 7-day forecast. 72 to 64 with a cold front coming in on Thursday night. A beautiful weekend up ahead and a mild start to next week with the sun making a return. Back to you.
Thank you, Dylan, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche.
And I'm Olivia Dague. Tune in weekdays at 4:30 and Fridays at 4. Good night.